Just like Vince Carter in 2001. Fast forward 18 years later. One final fadeaway at the horn in Game 7. But the Raptors get the bounce this time. 4 bounces. A quartet of bounces. That has left one fan base in ecstasy and another one in complete disbelief. Like all of you in Philadelphia, all I want to do is lock myself in the bathroom and cry. But I'm doing this show. I don't know why I'm doing this show because I don't want to do this show. I am sick to my stomach. Kyle Gaffner is here. I am Adrian Fedke. Sixers lose Game 7. One final fadeaway at the horn. 41 points for Kawhi Leonard. One final dagger does the Sixers in.
Dude, it's just putrid, man. Like just to see the way they played, they kept in it. That neither team was shooting particularly well, and we just and it pains me to say this, but we literally lost to one guy. We lost to a one-man team tonight, and they just gave it away. There was no energy. There was no offensive execution at there in the end. We were lucky enough for him to miss that free throw and Jimmy run down and get that layup, but 4.2 seconds to go. And my thought is, how do you let Kawhi Leonard get the ball to even have that shot? I would have stuck 3 guys on him. I would have took Boban off the bench like Brett did before and put him in on the inbounder, make it as difficult as possible to take this into overtime. We out-rebounded this team throughout the series. Tonight, they destroyed us on the boards. They gave this away. It was gift-wrapped. Here you go, Raptors. Here's the game because Philly didn't want it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one-on-one defense there. I did think the closeout by Embiid was pretty damn good. I mean, he had to shoot that over 7'2" outstretched arms of Embiid, and dude, like, by the gift of God, they got that shot to go down. So it comes down to two things for me. You said it already, the rebounding, the offensive rebounding specifically. 16-5 Toronto was when the Sixers were plus 10 in rebounding overall coming into the game, which led the playoffs. So you got pounded on the offensive glass. And then the other thing was the 3 basically shot clock violations in the last couple minutes. One of them was technically a shot clock violation. The other 2 were 2 late shots at the horn where the offense looked completely discombobulated, which is completely inexcusable in a Game 7.
Like, I'm wondering when that first one happened, okay, pretty good defense, right? But to get everything going, why doesn't Brett take a timeout? He basically held on to those babies for the entire game and then just wasted them away there at the end. Okay, you saw your team was in a disarray. Call a timeout, get them gathered. You're a young team, fire them up, get them ready, and draw up a play. But no, we had our best player hovering around the three-point line. Why doesn't Embiid try to go get established down there on the block? The whole game, I didn't really see him down there. Okay? Why? Maybe they're going to come over there and double. It gives you an open shot to maybe get a 3. We saw it work a couple times in this game tonight. Yep. Well, I think that was our best chance to get open 3s. And they just didn't do it. Embiid had 6 threes tonight. Not what you want your 7'2" big man to be doing at all.
No, you don't. So 6 of 18 overall. I know he was 2 of 10 in the first half, and 1 of 6 from 3 overall, which you talked about the 6 threes that he took. So the thing about that is this. There's 2 ways to look at this, because it's like, all right, 15 of his 17 points in Game 6 came in the second half, and most of it came on his face-up game. Because he has been struggling on the block on Marc Gasol all series. The thickness, the bulk, all that. And I finally gave in. I'm like, all right, you know what? The sickness, you can't use that as an excuse because, well, Embiid struggled all series. So I believe that the sickness did take away some lack of energy on the defensive end, but you can't use it as an excuse anymore because he struggled all series. And to see him hovering along the perimeter was frustrating because while it worked in Game 6 for a second half, Toronto made the adjustment back, and then you still have him hovering around the perimeter. He's 2 of 10 in the first half. You have to make an adjustment, and it was never made with Embiid. And a lot of these guys just struggled tonight. Jimmy Butler was 1 of 8 to start. Ben Simmons back to not taking any shots, so 4 of 5, back to taking 5 shots. I mean, I'm not drunk right now. Ben, the fuck. So it's back to that, and I know that Ben is 22 and Joel is only 24. I get it, but this was a game where both teams kind of played like shit, and the Sixers played worse in the last 5 minutes than the Raptors did. I mean, it came down to who came away with the least mistakes at the end, and offensive rebounds kept killing the Sixers because the first shot defense from the Sixers was outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, and the turnovers again, snake bitten. They bit us again in the ass. We had 17 turnovers, a couple crucial ones there at the end. And it was just like there wasn't a lot of ball movement for our offense tonight. We had Toby going good. We got him in a rhythm, and then we just got away from him. And if you know anything about Tobias Harris's game, when he's hot, you want to keep feeding him. Keep feeding him the ball when he's in a rhythm. He really hasn't been in a rhythm this entire playoffs at all, and you finally get him going, and then you just go away and he gets cold again. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I thought they should have continued to feed him the ball, especially since Ben wasn't taking shots and Embiid was ice cold. You should have just went right to him. But again, that's coaching, bro. That is solely on the coaching staff.
Because there was a point where both teams were struggling to score. And Toby was kind of working the mid-range game a little bit. And it was working, and they really should have kind of stuck with it a little bit more. But, again, this was like third quarter, so. The other thing I wanted to get into, now you kind of alluded to it already. Kawhi Leonard, basically a one-man band. He had 13 of the last 15 points of the game, and the only one other than Kawhi Leonard to score in the last 7 minutes was Pascal Siakam. So 13 of the last 15 points in the last 7 minutes of the game were from Kawhi Leonard. And you know what? He was 16 of 39, so it's not like his efficiency was all that great. This was a well-defended game by the Sixers besides the offensive rebounds. I mean, they shot 38.2%. They took 24 more shots.
And helps when you're able to get 2 or 3 looks at the basket, and
it's like 38.2%, and a lot of these were like clean bunnies after these offensive rebounds. So to think, I don't know what the first shot defense field goal percentage was, but the Sixers were pretty stingy there, but they weren't cleaning the defensive glass, which is what they always do. And it was so frustrating because Kyle Lowry, he's scrapping for these loose ball rebounds. He had 3-4 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, which was huge. And Serge Ibaka, another one, providing that energy for them. I guess hat tip to that. But other than that, this was a sloppy game that was won on Kawhi Leonard's last second shot.
Yes, and you touched on it before. He didn't have a great game. He scored 41 points, but he took 39 shots and only hit 16 of them. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Them being able to get the rebounds and then kick it off. And a couple of times the Sixers are just watching him shoot the basketball. It's like they shred all their defense on the first possession, and then after those loose balls and them getting the offensive rebounds, it's just like they were tanked. They were just so exhausted. They had no energy. The crowd wasn't there to fuel them. And I go back to the regular season on this, okay? After we had gotten, 2 years ago, remember we went on that 16-game winning streak and we got right in the finals. We were hot. Well, this year we limped in. We had, the second easiest schedule, and we were giving up these games, just, laying down against, the teams like Atlanta and, Brooklyn even we were losing to, even though they made the playoffs. But we were losing to below-average teams. And those are still important because that could have been home court advantage tipped to us, and this Game 7 could have been at home. And it's tough to win on the road. We know that. I think the Sixers are 6-10 overall, playoff-wise, going into Game 7s. and maybe 1 of 9 again on the road. It's tough, but you got that fuel from the energy from the crowd, and they just blew it, and it pisses me off to lose with 4.2 seconds left. Because this game was there for the taking. We could have taken it, but it's coulda, woulda, shoulda. It doesn't matter now, because now you're going to look back on this, and what are you going to blame? They didn't have the energy. They weren't going after the offensive rebounds, and our big guys didn't show up. Could have been youth, of course. Could have been coaching and the inability to make adjustments. Absolutely. Where do they go to now? You've got a lot of free agents coming up, and where is Brett Brown sitting when it's all said and done? Because I think his ass should be left in Canada, and he should just file for citizenship over there, because I don't want him back in Philly, bro.
Dude, this was such an uninspiring effort from him. This doesn't give me a lot of confidence, because it's like, I just made a video yesterday about, all right, maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side. He got him to a Game 7. He made some adjustments, packed the paint. But this Game 7, having Embiid a lot on the perimeter, I mean, the offensive execution in the last 5 minutes to have those basically shot clock violations where the offense was completely stagnant, it's inexcusable. And, it's two ways. It's like, yeah, you want to build the cohesion together with the quartet, and you can't really establish that if you kind of, get rid of a coach. But this wasn't good tonight. I'm disappointed in him.
And this is what I think we're going to get out of Brett Brown. Much like possibly what would have happened in Golden State with Mark Jackson. Maybe they figured that was the plateau for him. They couldn't get him over the hump, so they brought in a Steve Kerr. Yeah. Who is going to be our knight in shining armor when it comes to that? Because I think Brett Brown's just going to get us to the ability of getting us to the second round, and that's not good enough. Okay? If you were a great enough coach, you've got the players. Whether or less they didn't play that many games together, the talent was still there. And you saw it tonight. It was close, even though the Sixers didn't play well. You should have been able to coach yourself out of this, but you saw the stagnant offense. It's just his offensive sets are just so simple, bro. There's just not much to them. And I don't know if it's him just being bullheaded and not want to make adjustments, and just kind of like Chip Kelly was in football, where he didn't want to make adjustments. He was obsessed with his system, and it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work. Well, no, because there's other coaches that are smart enough to figure stuff out. It's all about adjustments in all sports. And I just don't think we're going to get anything else out of Brett Brown. And I also believe that he is stunting the growth of Ben Simmons.
Why do you believe that?
Because I think he's just so obsessed with Ben being the point forward. And you see Ben running a lot of point in the half-court sets, which he struggles with. You want to get your players to use their best skills to their ability, right? I thought he was fantastic when he was down on the block, either passing out of it or doing maybe try something different with maybe some pick and rolls, or just try some different things. Don't just stick him at the point forward. And then you saw it a lot of times when they got in the half-court offense, he would go off, he would pass it off the top of the key, and he'd just disappear off to under the basket or off to the three-point line on the side. Like, no, try to encourage him to shoot, encourage him to do anything. But it's like he didn't lift him up. I felt like he's holding him back. And you see the potential with Ben Simmons. You really do. And in order to get this coach, and I saw it with Giannis, when they got rid of Jason Kidd and they brought in a Mike Budenholzer, look at the way he just blossomed under his system. You know what I mean? So I think that the same situation is going to happen with Ben Simmons. You got to get the right coach in here that's going to be able to make his abilities, blossom. And there's so much talent, Ben Simmons. I'm not the biggest Ben Simmons guy.
I know you're not.
There is untapped talent there. There really is, and we've seen flashes. But you want to see that on a consistency.
You want to see the killer instinct.
Yes.
It boils down to that. 2 words: killer instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 shots is leaving me completely sober right now.
And what do we know about Brett, though? What do we know about Brett? He's not going to push these players. He's a laid-back kind of guy. He's not going to get on these players.
Oh man, it's like so. I'm trying to figure out an example where it didn't go the right way. Like you referenced the Golden State example, Mark Jackson, and you bring in Steve Kerr. I wish there was a Mike Budenholzer out there, man, because I like him.
I do too. He really displays what the Spurs system's all about. You see Popovich in a Budenholzer offense and defense. And you look what's out there. I don't know if there's really any of anything out there.
Like it might literally be better off to let him have one more year.
Oh God!
Like if you can't find anybody, you don't want to get desperate and just get. I don't know.
Right, you don't. Well, you remember when the Lakers? It happened with the Lakers too when they brought in Dwight Howard. They had Kobe. Who was that? Was that a Mike Brown coach team?
Oh God! Oh man!
And that's when they were going to get Chris Paul, but they ended up getting somebody else, and that was their trio. I don't remember if Powell was still there, but that failed miserably.
Yeah, and then Mike Brown went back to Cleveland.
Yeah. Yep. I know he's out there, but I don't want him. I mean, there's been talks.
No, I don't want him. 2011, 2012, he was on the Lakers.
So, okay, I think that's when they got Dwight. That was that big trade, right?
Might have been right.
So there's another example where it didn't happen. Jason Kidd with the Bucks. He left Brooklyn, went up to Milwaukee, had all that talent there. They kind of freaking stutter stepped. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't get over that hump. So what do? Boom, kicked him out, brought in a Mike Budenholzer. So there's a few examples of coaches with teams that kind of just plateaued. They just fizzled out. They didn't get over that glorious hump.
Yeah, the glorious help. Because it's like, all right, it's one thing. It's like, yeah, back-to-back 50-win seasons, and you hear that all the time from people, Brett Brown supporters. But what does that really mean? Because like, should they be winning more games potentially? Because you have Joel Embiid, you have Ben Simmons. I mean, I don't really know. Should they be a 1 or 2 seed instead of a 3 seed like they've been the last 2 years?
The 50-win season, it doesn't do anything for me. You know, whatever. Okay, it's all about rings.
Ultimately,
it's all about the hardware, bro. So if you want to get 50-win seasons, cool. You know, we saw Andy Reid do it forever with the Eagles. You know, he was a great regular season coach, couldn't do nothing in the playoffs. Kind of the same thing with the Chiefs. Same thing is happening. But I want to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I want to get to the championship, and I want to see 83, man. We were not alive the last time the Sixers won a championship. Okay? And we were quite young tucks when they were last in the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. And we could taste it. It was almost there. And it kind of just fizzled out. And Brett Brown is the last remaining person from that whole process, technically.
Yeah. Oh, man. I said before the playoffs in the PI in 60. Now, I did technically say yesterday I picked the Sixers to win Game 7. But before the playoffs, I said they'd beat the Nets in 5. They'd lose to the Raptors in 7. And Brett Brown would be fired.
I hope that does happen.
I might be 3-4-3.
I hope that does happen. I really do, man.
Oh. 3 for 3, and I was also right about that double doink too in Chicago. I'm just on fire, but I'm not crediting this one because I picked the Eagles. I picked the Sixers to win this game. So
well, they had it.
They should have won. No, they shouldn't have won, but they could have won.
They didn't want it.
Let's not say they should have won because they didn't deserve to win a game looking like that.
Nope.
They could have won. They shouldn't have won. They could have won. Raptors should have won.
They wanted it more. They were more aggressive. They were more effective.
Yeah, let's not disrespect the Raptors and say that the Sixers should have won. No. Both teams kind of look like shit, I know, but Raptors should have won.
But their best players showed up. Ours did not.
Yeah. And Brett Brown wasn't putting him in a great position to succeed either.
Nope. No, he was not. And it's a big offseason for Elton Brand. We got to try to retain Jimmy Butler. We don't know if he's going to stay here or not.
He's staying. There's no doubt in my mind.
I hope so. I hope he does, man.
Keep both of them, and that's it. And then, it's go from there. Oh, man. Dude, I don't know what to feel about the Brett Brown situation. I am so undecided. I don't know. I need to look at coaching candidates.
I do too. There's been talks, but it would be great to have Jay Wright here, but I don't ever see him leaving Villanova ever.
Wow. You want to talk about a 3-point system?
Excellent.
Wow. Dude, fuck it. I'd do it.
I would do it too. I would love to have Jay Wright
here. My. That would be unbelievable.
We missed out on
the Nova guy. I'm a Temple guy, but
well, Aaron McKee hasn't been in the ranks too long, but let's see what
Aaron, stay at Temple for right now, please.
Yeah. Don't be jumping ship yet. Let's see what you can do, and then we know what Jay can do. He's established himself.
That's enticing to me. Because you put the Jason Kidd example, and you talked about the Mark Jackson example. Well, those were guys who were more about shooting the 2-point basket. And the game has evolved. I mean, if you watch a game in the late 90s, early 2000s even, when you see a fast break and a guy pulled up from 3, you know what happened? The guy would get yanked from the game. But 20 years later, my God, you pull up from 3 in transition. Mm-hmm. And some of the old school minds, like Jason Kidd and Mark Jackson, those guys have kind of phased out. Now, Brett Brown does have kind of a 3-point system. They shoot a lot of threes. They're free-flowing offense. So it is kind of a modern type system. So it's like you're not really changing – if you want to keep the modern system, you're not really changing systems per se. You're basically changing from a motivational standpoint.
True. That's true. And we've lost – let's see.
Does Jay Wright have what Brett Brown doesn't have? Does he have that testicular fortitude to just really lay into his team?
He doesn't. And doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. He's Mr. GQ. He's George Clooney.
He's too soft. He's too soft of a coach.
But I like the system, though.
The system is not bad. It's frustrating.
It's a great college system. I don't know if it would work in the NBA, but it's a great college system, and it's brought 2 national titles.
Oh, you're talking about Jay Wright. I thought you were talking about Brett Brown.
Oh, no, Jay Wright.
Oh, yeah, Jay Wright's system would work beautifully here. I really think, and he's not missed. Yeah, when you were saying GQ, I'm like, Brett Brown's not GQ, but yeah, Jay Wright looks exactly like George Clooney.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think he would instill some toughness here for sure. We've known what he's done in the college ranks. How long was it before? It was 1986, and they won in 2016, right?
1985 was Rolly Massimino, and then they were a 8 seed, I believe, and then they won like 2 and 3 years, which was crazy because they had like all those second round exits for a while. They were losing early.
He could be the guy. It was a long time before Villanova won again until he got there and instilled his system. And it's not like they're doing it with 5-star recruits at all.
I mean, the time to go for him would be now because they had the championship last year. That the roster isn't as good at the moment. If he wants to leave, it's right now.
If I was Elton Brand, I'd try to get on the phones and try to entice him to come here. It's right in his – he doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to uproot his family.
That's what Colangelo's wanted. They wanted him after Mike D'Antoni.
Oh God! Thank God that he left. Because
I'm glad we didn't get D'Antoni because you want to talk about a soft coach. Oh. Yeah, stay away from him.
Yes,
his ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's it.
He ain't getting you to the finals.
Nope. No defense, man. No defense. All about shoot. You want to talk about shooting a 3? God, he drills that into a freaking verbatim, beating a dead horse. God, thank God we missed out on that because he probably would have been next in line. Colangelo's would have fired Brett and hired him right away.
Yeah.
We got to get the rest of our coaching staff in here as well because they're all gone too. Not that they were good, Billy Lang and Monty Williams, but you've got to get some assistant coaches in here.
8-man rotation basically for the Sixers. Only 8 points off the bench. 40-plus minutes for each of the starters. Mike Scott, 11 minutes. James Ennis, 14. And Greg Monroe with 2 useless minutes. I was pissed when he was in the game. Oh, my God. Kyle Lowry, when he got that 3-point play there at the end of the half to put him up 4, that was almost like a momentum builder. And then they win by 2 points.
2 points. Where was Mike Scott? Mike Scott has been so big throughout this playoffs with his shot-making ability, his gritty defense, and you only play him 11 minutes. Like, that's, again, Brett's rotations. It's like you're kind of scratching your head like, what are you doing?
I'm too sad to yell. I'm too sad to yell. I'm too sad to yell.
It's the coaching staff, man. We've got to bring back these cats, both Tobias and Jimmy, 100%. We've got to get the right coaching staff in here, and we got to take another shot at this and make another run. Because more than likely, I don't know if Kawhi's going to stay in Toronto. It doesn't matter because they're going to get knocked out in the next round anyway. Like, the rest of these playoffs are going to be so boring. They're going to be awful. Like, Milwaukee is way too much of a team for Toronto, the one-man band. Mike Budenholzer is Giannis is going to be all over him, but they have so many other pieces that they can go off of to score that you'll see. We'll see what happens.
This is very anticlimactic. It's the Warriors are going to win in 5, then they're going to win in 5 again, and yippee fucking yay, they're going to have a 3rd straight championship.
5. That would make what? 5 and 6 years, or is it 4 and 5 years?
Oh, is it
4 and 5?
I think it's 4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5 years, I believe.
And they didn't win the one when they won 73, which was without Kevin Durant.
And they blew a 3-1 lead in that series too. They were up 3-1.
Yeah,
in that series.
It is 3 in a row they're going for, right? Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, 3 in a row. So they're going for the first 3-peat since the Lakers.
Yeah, and it's not
in the early.
like this is like Barry Bonds' fucking asterisk too. Like, this is bullshit 3-peat.
Yep. And they're going to get Boogie back, and it's just going to be like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, like, they don't even need Durant, and they wipe out the Rockets. Like, come on. This is like KD. As
they
insecure.
just rest.
Who's more insecure, KD or Donald Trump?
KD.
I wonder who has more burner accounts.
Well, they probably might be tied, but they're both pretty damn insecure. Both pretty damn insecure.
I mean, 2 very insecure people, but 2 very different insecure people.
Oh, yeah. This is just rest for Kevin Durant, you know? He got his nice 2 nights off, couple days. I hope Portland can somehow upset it, but it's not going to happen. They're going to roast them like it was nobody's business.
God. The Rockets-Warriors series was the NBA Finals.
Yeah, pretty much. That was a good series. It was an awesome series. Steph came alive, though. It was unbelievable. The Splash Brothers came to play, and they were playing like shit the whole series. But when it mattered most, they turned it on. Steph, I think, went off for 34 points in the second half and led them to victory.
I think did he have 0 at the half, or he didn't hit a shot in the half?
I don't think he hit a shot. He didn't have.
It was, yeah.
He was really ice cold throughout the whole series.
He couldn't hit anything.
But there you go. There's a one-man band. It's James Harden and a bunch of collective guys. You got to have more pieces than just one. They're so boring to watch. They literally remind me of the Raptors. You just give the ball to your best player and then clear out. And you just watch him play ISO all game. It's just like put me to sleep. I'm like, good God, just end the series. Like, I was so happy when the Warriors beat them. It's just that Mike D'Antoni system is so boring to watch, dude.
Yeah.
Just put you to sleep. So, yeah, they'll get their championship again, and then we'll be on to the next.
I just hope KD finally leaves, and then we have more balance throughout the NBA.
He probably will. I don't see him sticking around. It would be awesome to see if Klay Thompson would leave. I don't think he will, but, you know, it would be dope if he could, if we could somehow land him. I don't see him being an East Coast cat.
I don't think that would happen.
If he leaves, he'll probably go to the Lakers, play for his dad's team, have a chance to play with LeBron, get his own type of cheddar, You know, he's got all the championships, get paid. I mean, he could definitely be a max player for some teams. Just get that dynasty just separated. They're so damn good.
Yeah.
So damn good.
All right. Let's do final thoughts and get out of here. Because I got to write this recap now. Like, all I want to do is cry, and I got to do stuff.
Oh, this one's going to hurt. You know, basketball is pretty much.
You know why it hurts? Because they had a legitimate chance to go to the finals. Boston was out. They got Milwaukee. They matched up well with Milwaukee, more up tempo. They would have beaten the Bucks. This is why this hurts.
It's exactly why it hurts. It hurts the most just because it was right there for our taking. It just slipped through our fingers.
Game 4 and then this game.
Yeah, right. Imagine that. The game 4 that we kind of, same thing happened. Got lackadaisical, got stagnant at the end. They wanted it more and they took it. We could have had a 3-1 lead, possibly ended it. We could have ended it at home, but again, it's coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's in the past. You can't do nothing about it. You know, they wanted it more. They took it. Now they're going to get creamed by Milwaukee. Ew.
No, the playoffs now suck. I mean, I'll watch them, but it's uninteresting.
I think it's gonna plummet the NBA's ratings. I mean, the NBA's ratings have started to go down this year anyway, as this started to peel off, and now they're really gonna go down, bro. Oh, God.
All right. Well, that ends this show and the 2018-2019 Sixers season, which unfortunately ends a little bit prematurely. So there it is. That's Kyle Gaffner. I am Adrian Fedke. This one hurts. It's going to hurt for a while. But, hey, like Rocky once said, not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And we'll see how the Sixers move forward from here. We're out. Peace.
Nice.